1 second. Give me 1 second. Oh, I think I did it. How's it going, guys? Can you hear me? Okay, I think you can hear me. Let me turn this light on. There you go. And turn that TV off too. Okay, guys, what's going on? I felt a little rushed right now because I totally took a nap, fell asleep by accident. But to be fair, there was somebody encouraging me to take a nap. I feel like I'm too sleepy sometimes, but you know, if you're here and you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I see that there's quite a few of you guys checking out my stream, maybe for the first time. Underneath me is my Twitter right here, and I post about these streams and also the games and stuff that I do. It's twitter.com/crate, and then also the YouTube channel, youtube.com/crate, and then the Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/thecrate. All the VODs, all the video on demands, recordings are going to be on YouTube. So if you're on Twitch and you missed part of it, that's okay. You can go back and watch it on YouTube. Totally fine. And today we're going to start out a little bit differently than normal. Well, we already kind of did, but oh my gosh. Let me switch over the input, and we should be able to see my screen real quick. Okay, great. So today we're going to do a little bit different stuff than normal. Instead of jumping into Circuit Dude, we're going to look at a few example program files and see what they did, because we did get stuck, and I said I was going to try to go through and pull data or pull code or something from another example file and then run it and then try to get some sort of UI working, a form, buttons, stuff like that. And I felt like we could do that, but I could also take a nap. So I took a nap. So I think what we're going to do today to start the stream is go through that together instead of just me doing it on my own. It might actually be a little beneficial because, as you can see in the emulator over here, the background is pink. And when we play our Circuit Dude, the game that we have, right now you can see it's kind of green in the main menu. When you play Circuit Dude, it's like disgusting green. I mean, pink in the background and then white being drawn. So maybe if we actually go through some of these example files, we'll see how they do coloring and stuff, and see if we can copy that as well as some of the form code. And that should catch us up to where we want to be, and maybe even some frame data stuff, frames per second or cycles or ticks or whatever they want to call it in the Palm Pilot world. But just real quick, I'm going to go through the chat. There's some people saying hey. So howdy, Tariq. KBN Amigo. Cool. Daniel says, should be able to stay a little bit later until the end of the stream tonight. That's awesome. Tomorrow in Canada, apparently it's a holiday. I didn't know that. Whatever holiday it is, happy whatever day. And Victor Sater says hello, howdy. I'm not sure I recognize the name. And had a nice day, question mark. Daniel, yeah, I had a pretty okay day. I'm still, you can see in the background, I'm still kind of moving some stuff, but this time, you can't really see. This time it's more of my own messes that I need to clean up. I'm like 99% done unpacking and stuff like that, so it's just getting comfortable in my new apartment. But everything is closed for Canada Day. I didn't know that was the name of the holiday. I wish we had an America Day here, or Texas Day. And Raj, of course, says hello, so howdy. Okay, let's go ahead and get started then, without further ado. Take a look at some of these examples. I'll pull up a file browser actually to do that. Oh, We want to do this. Oh my gosh, I copied the wrong thing. Give me one moment. Alrighty. So for HS Pascal, which of course is the language that we're using, there's a few demo files here we can take a look at. There's like an analog clock. I think there's a cellular automata game, like pretty much game of life, a digital clock, some sort of serial echo program, a bigger hello world, and a game called Matches. We were looking at NicoCat a few times. Numerous, I don't know what it is, and Primes, I'm not sure. We can go through some of these and compile them together and see what comes about, see what they produce, and then we'll throw it onto the emulator and run a few of them. So let's start with the hello world here, the big hello world. Oh, I guess it's already compiled for us. See what that looks like. This is a minimum application. Push me. Bing. So this is kind of the format that I was hoping to get CircuitDude in. So I think this is going to be a good set of code to look at. We did kind of look at it before. Let's see, big hello world, hello.pos. We did look at it before, but it really didn't help us. We were looking up here at the resources. Oh, actually, it looks like maybe this is using some other kind of resource file. Does this use a RPC file? RCP? No, it uses these bin files. Okay. That one might not be too good. So the way Palm Pilot development works with this language, at least, you do a lot of programming in Pascal, which is great, but then the resources are handled in these binary files that you independently compile. Sometimes I've seen when people distributed their code, they've only distributed the binary files that have been converted over for the Palm Pilot to understand. But then some people actually give their source files along with the file that, basically the recipe file that converts the source files into these binary files that get built into the Palm Pilot package, which is the PRC file. So I don't really see. Oh, here we go. Hello res.pos. That might be what we want. Let's take a look at that real quick. And you can see here where it's referencing these binary files. It's basically saying, hey, go grab these files whenever you compile and put these in. What I'm expecting to see is some sort of instructions or some sort of definition for what these, like the frame, for instance, or the label that's here, the text label, or this button, or even this alert. Some definition of what those look like. They could be like coordinates and stuff like that, and basically the functionality for them as well. So we really don't see that in this because it's using the binary files already. But there's plenty of demos, and I know for a fact that not all of them do that. So let's take a look at, I think the most complicated one is NicoCat. That one might be fun to take a look at. But let's go ahead and run it real quick and then talk about the code. I had this actually on my original Palm Pilot. When I was a kid, I would find all these different Palm Pilot games and toss them in, and this is definitely one that I remember because I loved like Tamagotchis and stuff. You can see how it has an animation here. I think if you click, you'll drop one of these items somewhere, and the cat will get up and react to it. So if I click here, I think a mouse will come out. Yeah. And then he eats it up. You know, Java Jack is saying July 4th is close enough to being an America Day, and heck yeah, that might be. Oh, cool. Okay, so you can kind of change the direction. So what I'd expect to find turn into binary data that this is gonna basically consume when it's compiled is like the animations and stuff, as well as even the UI stuff. But the UI stuff can be independently defined in the source code file. And I feel like my camera is about to turn off, so give me 1 second. I'm gonna adjust it. Okay, should be good for a while. And let's take a look at the NicoCat stuff. We have the NicoCat source code right here. We have the resources definition file, and then the RCP file is actually what's used to define a lot of these resources that are compiled into this binary file, essentially this .ro file, and that's what the compiler consumes when making this compiled file. So instead of putting in the form data and the resources into the main PAS file, the main Pascal file, this one puts it into this RCP file, which also includes instructions for bitmaps and stuff like that. And so for Circuit Dude, we were trying to somehow make a form, make a button, something like that, and it wasn't quite working too well, but we weren't putting it into the RCP file. We were putting it into the actual like PAS file, the main PAS. So we could try switching over and doing something like this to try to get it to work. But I have a feeling that it still won't work. There's something that we're doing wrong, something that we're overlooking. As an example, this one uses main form, and we were going through the other day and looking for anything that references main form. For instance, right here, in the application handle event, it checks the form ID for the event that's going on, and then does something with that. So that wasn't super helpful to us yesterday, but we could look at some more code. We have a digital clock one too. Take a look at that. Oh, that hurts my eyes. Pretty ugly. I don't think that's supposed to look like that though. Is it supposed to look all broken and stuff? Oh, it's like a skyline, actually. See. Yeah, you see it's like a skyline. I guess it's supposed to look kind of cool. Maybe it looks better whenever the background is black. GUI stuff is not going to be fun. Galactic Discat, did you happen to download the emulator and get it working? I don't know exactly why the colors look like this. I thought at the same time that the colors were atypical, or for some reason there's like a something changed on it, but it looks like it. I don't know. This seems to be the default setting for me, at least. I know for a fact that these colors are correct for these icons, so I just figured that the other colors were how they're supposed to be. Look at the settings again, which I've tried to look at a few times. Or maybe this might be a special ROM too. That might be like built into the ROM for debug purposes. You're using 3.5. Are you using 3.5 on this emulator? So I'm using 4.0. I just found out the other day. I hadn't taken a look. Yeah, I don't think 3.0 or 3.x supported colors. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think 4.0 was the first Palm Pilot to support color. So that might be why it's displaying like this. Galactic Discat, did your color like work properly, or did it have this weird coloring to your emulator? It looks fine. Huh. Wait, other options, white background. Maybe this is like a. Okay, yeah, I changed the background to white, but nothing else changes. That's funny. What was that in skins? Maybe I need to reset the emulator. Maybe this is cached or something. Hmm. Yeah, the background is not white anymore. Even very weird. Hmm. I don't think this is very exciting, but it's really interesting that you guys tell me that the color is fine. I think if I exit, I can restart the emulator and it might tell me more options when it boots, which it did not. Close. Okay, here we go. I only have the 3C, which is what you were emulating too. And I think I only have one ROM. Yeah, I only have one ROM. Hmm. Dang. I was hoping that maybe the colors would be better in different applications, but it must actually be the emulator. I didn't think I was actually right about that. But okay. Well, I guess one of those mysteries is solved. One of the two. The next one is, of course, um, what we can do about the forms and stuff. And earlier when searching code, there's an HTML file here that keeps popping up in my search in VS Code. I've always wondered what it is, but I've never opened it. Oh, it's just a like a nicely formatted version of the code. And they use here in the main PAS file, they have the resource mapped out. Hmm. Actually, let's see. I have a hunch. Hmm. So I have this directive, precompiler directive, to include the resources with the .rl up here, and they do it here. It looks like within this resource section. I don't know if that changes how it works. It's maybe if this is red, the compiler. Oops, my bad. If this is red, maybe the compiler refuses to look at the resources that are defined here. So if I put this here, I mean, this is just spitballing. It could be right. I mean, there's random stuff that's happened that ended up being right, but it also could be very, very wrong. Huh? What other tips could we find from here, from this digital clock? Also, let me try to fix this camera again. I have like this thing that's supposed to stop it from dying. It doesn't want to. It's essentially just a rubber band with a piece of rubber attached to it. Good. Okay. It's kind of cool that this uses a Palm Pilot font format, EFN. Form open handle event. Oh, actually, I kind of like this format for the handling of events. Use a switch based off of the type. Maybe I'll change that later in mine. Form open handle event. Get the active form. Draw the form, and basically say that it's handled. Oh, it actually spits it out. For result. Okay, that's an interesting. I think this is a good place to come back to for handling events, more advanced events, um, because it actually passes in this variable, a reference to the variable, and then gets it back out and sets the basically the return value for this event. But actually, I don't know if it uses that for anything, so maybe that's just useless. Okay, let's move on to another example real quick. And I saw this game earlier called Matches when I was looking at NS Basic stuff, because they also, for whatever reason, put it in NS Basic as well. There are 25 matches on the board. Please choose who will start first. Computer? Oh, I remember. I've played a game like this before. You get to choose 1, 2, or 3 matches, and the computer gets to take so many, and then you get to take so many, and whoever takes the last one, I think, wins. Or maybe it's the other way around. What the heck? Alright, so Maybe you have to get down to one match, not zero, but you get the idea. Do I want to play again? No. It exits out. Looks like it does have a main menu up here. I forgot what these menus are called. Pop-ups are defined. Oh, but look, whenever they don't actually redraw the game area whenever you open up this pop-up for some reason. I wonder about the other ones. The other ones as well. I think there's like some sort of setting you have to do for like save under. We were talking about that last stream. I think that's what that's for, to prevent the pop-ups from erasing what's underneath in the frame buffer. So I guess we could take a look at that code real quick. It looks like they have an RO file, so they might already have it pre-compiled to the binary, but matches up. So they do have resources here, like I said, but it looks like menus and stuff they don't have in there. So let's take a look at the form, main form. So they have a main form, they create the buttons within the form, they give it a title. Oh, that's cheating. We're not supposed to look at that. Oh yeah, I forgot. They have images here and binary data. Look at that. Saved as a string. Definitely an ugly way to do that. Hmm. So it looks like they're just doing the standard stuff, which we've tried to implement already into Circuit Dude. Whenever the form opens, it tries to draw the active form. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? Form open. Is this a global variable? It is. Okay. I thought maybe that was a built-in variable or something that may do something special, but it looks like it doesn't. Form go to form in the main, right before the main loop. So that doesn't look like it helps us out really. Check out one or two more. Oh. Turning fork. No idea what this is. Tuning fork. Oh my gosh. Turning fork. I misread. I wonder if this will play audio. You might not be able to hear it, but I think I would be able to. You might be able to also now. And I don't think this is actually making noise. This might be good to come back to later because Circuit Dude does have some sound effects that it plays through the game, but they're simple beeps, but I can't seem to get the emulator to work, so maybe the sound isn't going, sound isn't emulating. Well, let's take a look at the code anyways. Okay, so it looks like no forms are defined here. They're inside of the bin. But we can look here for form main and see what they do with it. Go to form main. Oh, look at that. Actually, you know what? This might actually give us a clue. Because if you look up here, the constants or the constants, form main is just a number. Makes sense. And down here it says form go to form main, which is a number. So clearly we can add just a number in here, the resource ID, which is what these look like. So I think in Circuit Dude, we might be able to, instead of form main or main form, when we do form go to form, this is the camera again. Okay, so instead of main form that we use, so we could actually use this ID right here, which is supposed to be defined here in this resource. No, where's it at? Maybe I deleted it last time, but this basically this ID, this resource ID, uniform. And let's go ahead and try to run that and see what happens. We were getting that error last time. But I think it was because of these load events. So we can cancel them out or comment them out real quick. And then recompile. You also don't get sound? Okay. That's good. That's good to know. If you don't already have PRC Explorer, you might find that useful as far as reverse engineering existing PRC files. Yeah, you know, I did look into PRC Explorer, but it didn't look like it had binary data support. Oh wait, no, PRC Explorer, is that the one that lives on the Palm Pilot itself? Bless you. Yeah, I think I looked into this program at one point or another. No, that's not what I want. Oh, actually, maybe I didn't. This might be a good idea if we can find this program. If we can get this working on my computer right now, we could possibly just look to see if these resources are being compiled in properly. Like maybe there's a comma missing or something stupid like that up here. I know that it's kind of a weird format, so it's easy to miss stuff, and it's not really highlighted too well. Yeah, okay, let's try to find that real quick. Java Jack, do you have any kind of like suggestion of where to pick this up at? Or maybe this might work. Nope. Actually, maybe it will. If I go to um, oh, I'm actually a hacker. That's how I know how to do that. Galactic Discat says you use PAR, P-A-R. I use a streaming computer, so I have to actually like manually type in that URL. Oh, is this a command line tool? Oh, that's loud. I'm turn that off. Oh, CLI. Okay, yeah. All right, let's run this. I'll play around with PAR later, but I typically like stuff with user interfaces. Oh, this is so ugly. Oh, cool! Look at this. You can actually see the images here. It might be a little bit hard on the stream, but it's really cool. We can look at code. Don't know about that. Junk. Junk is this is the binary data for the levels. This is what they look like. We had a big problem trying to integrate this into NS Basic. It was not working. And funnily enough, NS Basic had the buttons and UI and stuff all made the easiest to work with. It looks like we're just using the same icons, of course. So it looks like T-frame, TFRM, remember 4,000 was the number that I had for that right here. That's the resource ID for this main form. The title is Circuit Dude with this button temp. Using PRC Explorer, it looks like it is in this properly. You can even see my button down here for temp. So, it is being pushed into the PRC file, which makes me a little confused. We are loading it improperly somehow. But, you know, we could cheat a little bit too. We could say, we could open up another copy of this program and open up another PRC and kind of compare the attributes. For instance, no frame, no save behind, usable, stuff like that. And I think maybe a good one would be the hello world. Maybe the time one. Clock. That was what it's called. So you can compare the two real quick. This one and that one look pretty much the same. No frame, no save behind, usable, and menu ID. So the only thing is the menu ID. I mean, technically what it's supposed to look like on the Palm Pilot is when you click this title, a menu is supposed to appear. So I guess it might be possible that it needs a menu ID even if the menu is empty. But we can check other Palm Pilot games to see if that's the case. And if all of them use it, then might as well just make a menu real quick and see if that changes anything. Okay, so this one does not use a doesn't use a can't remember the menu. So there's no menu, which means this one should be fine. The clock and a clock. Okay, this is actually a pretty helpful program. You can see its usefulness. Look at my cat. Japanese and Latin? Okay, so we know that the form is being put into the resources properly because we can see it here. We're just not creating it properly for whatever reason. We disabled the code, the on event code. Oh, that's not what I want. What's it called? Form open event and form load event. Disabled handling those things. But you know, actually what we do here is we draw these forms based off of what's set to be active. And then here for load event, we are loading a form, that ID that's stored in this event. So I wonder if we could just say 4,000 and just cheat for a moment. Same thing for this one. Where else do we use main form? Nope. Okay, so we just use the resource ID. Compile that real quick. Uh-oh. Type mismatch. 570, 560. Oh, I guess it does take something else. A form pointer. Maybe this, actually. So that compiled. So I guess if we cheat, let's see what happens. Still doesn't work. Maybe 4,000 is too high of a number. I'm not really sure what the see. Not really sure what the rules are for doing something as high as 4,000. But I do know that there's some restrictions on resource numbers. Obviously, people aren't doing like 50 million. They're not doing less than 1,000 generally, but I'm gonna put 1,000. In looking at this code or looking at this program, it makes me think that these IDs, like this is 4,000, but they would not conflict with, like, if I change it to 1,000, because it's not in T-ain, it's in T form. Same thing for this, as well as junk code. I mean, if you look at it, junk has 1010, and I did 1010 because I didn't want it to conflict with any 1,000. But I guess that's because I just didn't know. So if I change 4,000 to 1,000 and compile it, perhaps it will be within memory where we can read from, and because of that, it'll work. And if that's the case, I mean, I would have learned a valuable lesson, but it is a big waste of time whenever stuff like that happens. Uh-oh. I think I might need to close out of the program to refresh it. Okay, so I renamed it to tab 1,000 for the resource ID. And go ahead and put that onto the emulator. It still has the issue. Oh, actually, resource for app form 4,000 not found. Did I not? Am I not running the proper version? Try one more time. 4,000 not found. Huh. Do I reference 4,000 in the this anywhere? I don't. Oh, we got rid of those last stream. We did. Oh, I still did 4,000 here. Do main form instead of 1,000. That makes sense. Can't go to a form that doesn't exist. Okay, cross my fingers. All right, it doesn't work again. Reading from memory location. This is like the null pointer memory location, I think. I mean, it gives me a very helpful, well, it gives me a very verbose error message right here, but it doesn't quite tell me what I need to know because I'm not super smart with this kind of stuff. And we really probably can't even Google it. Let's see. This access usually indicates that the application is calling a window manager function without first establishing a valid crawl window. Malware database. Malware analysis database. Okay, that's the only result. Let's look up window manager function and then the address 123.123.20. Java Jack, if you're not, super busy right now, if you're just chilling, if you want to take a look through those books and see if you can find anything about maybe this kind of error, I'll try to leave it up a little bit longer on the screen. But I mean, I think I kind of know what it's saying. It's saying that we're trying to draw something that hasn't been like set up. Like it doesn't know what to draw. Like the window, it's trying to draw with something that hasn't been set up. Yeah. So if you look through that book and find something about like establishing forms, that would be super helpful. And if you don't find anything, of course, you can always just say you didn't find anything. But okay. So let's try another example program. Hex to hex. This one has a lot of components in there, so wondering if it even looks like it has all the forms possibly in this RO file already. Crawl form get active form. This is funny. He inserted assembly code into here. Yeah, that doesn't look too weird from what we're doing. Form go to all of them. What we can do next is jump in and try to compile one of these ourselves and see if that works. And we can do HSPC text. It worked. Text to hex. And this worked too. Actually, I'd be very interested in seeing it go Cool. That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. That's actually really cool. I like that program. I wrote some JavaScript stuff the other day to on the other stream to do that for us for converting level data. But let's see. How can we use this? We know that the game compiles and runs. So there's something that I'm doing wrong. It's the compiler isn't doing anything wrong here. I guess the only way to like 100% drill that though, like 100% be sure of that, is to find a program that does the resources inline in the editor. I mean, in the main PAS file. So digiclock looks like it's a good example for that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this one does work as well. Hmm. Okay, let's take a look back at digiclock. But we'll kind of go through, I guess, and put my code next to it. Do like a line by line comparison to figure out what they did with their main form versus what I did with mine. So we set our main forms up here. I set mine up, and we really don't need to worry about that too much because we already tested to make sure that it's compiled in. Now let me squeeze these a little bit different for you guys. So when main begins, he goes to a main form. And I do that as well. So I have that code. The only time you reference main form directly. And digiclock has one form, so we don't have to worry about multiple forms. I mean, eventually I want to do multiple forms because I'd like to have like a pop-up that lets you select the level you want to play from the main menu. Same for the editor. But and that might be a butt to have to deal with. I mean, remember we're only doing these forms because we need to be able to access buttons that exist within those forms. If I could not do forms at all and just do buttons, that'd be pretty cool. But actually, one thing I do also want to check is the erase rectangle stuff that we're doing. I'm gonna go ahead and comment anything that has to do with that out because it's quite possible that we're erasing stuff. And you know, I didn't think to test the erasing stuff. So I'll compile circuit do again and with that commented out and just test it. I don't think it's gonna work or do anything special, but worth a shot. It's actually super cool looking. But still, we don't have the forms or the button down here. But I'll keep it commented out for now, just in case. Just in case. Okay, so what do they have that has to do with forms? Form open handle event. Oh, that's right. There's a procedure just for that, and it's in the handle event. I think they call it handle event in mine. All right, so I guess we'll start right here with within the main function how they get handle events, and I'll kind of copy my code off of theirs so that I can try to set up my form loading code properly, because it's totally possible that I've screwed it up in that portion of the code. So event type, take a second. So if not syshandle event, then okay. If not menu handle event, okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just toss that in there, just to kind of copy their code a little bit better. But menu handle event nil event error, then again. And form dispatch event. I don't know what that is, but I implemented that earlier, so it seemed to be okay. Form dispatch event. Okay. Action equals handle event. They call it digiclock handle event. JavaJack says this book is in C. HSPC may abstract away from of the lower level like launch codes, but the case statement in the main form handle resembles simple example C code from the beginning of this book. Yeah, so I think what this does is it transpiles to C++ and then compiles to compile it binary files. So if it looks similar, it's still super helpful. I mean, a lot of the functions are literally the same name too. Okay, so the digiclock handle event code looks like he has based off of the E type, which I do that too. Form load event. I'll uncomment these out, and as we go through to make sure that they're safe, we'll add stuff in, and we'll compile one by one. So for the open event, he has form open handle event. It looks like this. And what he does is form get active form, and he draws it with form draw form. Hey, that's what I had here. Hmm. So the form. So drawing the form looks like it will um, kill my program. I'll turn these return values. I'll put this in real quick. Maybe drawing the form breaks because we didn't load the form. We didn't properly load it. I still think that this code might be correct. Let's look at the form load event real quick. So what he does is he grabs the form ID and it's with the form ID, set active form with the form pointer, which I do over here, and then set event handler none. Dang it, that's exactly what I do. A draw window. What is this? This when handle, when get display window. So just looking up draw window, it does look like there is something I might be overlooking. Maybe it's loading the form, and that's all good, but it doesn't know where to put the form. So maybe we need to do some when get display window stuff like this. Window handle, screen lock. Oh, and you know what? There's also this function here that's called when screen lock. I think what this does is it locks the screen from being redrawn, and some of the flickering from Circuit Dude can be eliminated with this. It can help our frames per second look a little bit nicer. Well, let's see what other when stuff they do. Okay, it looks like it's only this stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and put that into the main function. Maybe this is what's missing for us. So get window display. I don't like the name of that. Let's look at some of these other functions or other files to see what they use. Do they use when set draw window? No. 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 Oh, what about NicoCat? That one has a lot of code in it. Nope. Doesn't either. Yeah, so maybe this isn't going to help us too much. doesn't work. But I think the error might be a little bit different. Oh wait, we don't do this. Yeah, so we get the same exact error actually. Give me one moment, I'm going to respond to a text message. Without a valid draw window. It looks like DigiClock uses it, but that might be it. The only source file that uses it. About when set. I think when set is only used. Looks like for text color. So maybe they need this window handler. Palm double buffering example. Perfect. That is going to be so helpful later. This cat. Palm.minoschmidt.org 2004 8 03 double buffering. Oh. Double buffering on the Palm Pilot. That's going to help out. Cool, good find, good find. But this is, it looks like it's in C++, but that's not bad. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's pretty much the same procedure. I mean, I guess what we could do is we can make a new PAS file completely and kind of start from scratch. Or we can just use like the hello world example. When were we going to look at? Oh, DigiClock? Did I have the form defined? Yeah. Okay, we'll just use this DigiClock example real quick and we'll just strip out as much as we can. So we don't need to I don't know what set default is actually. What is set default? Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that is. Oh wait, actually, is it? maybe there's a way to like set the default calculator or find these kind of applications can be replaced, I thought. Have a calculator button or a timer button and replace it with this digiclock. So maybe that's what default does, set default, but we can get rid of it. And get rid of these resources. And I don't know what this stuff is, so let's get rid of it. Font. We don't need to set font. Lead 0, we don't need to do that. Show time, don't need to do that. Form open handle event, we do need that. Menu handle event, do need that. Digiclock handle event, sure. Main. The time. Set font. We can get rid of this too. I don't care about this error either. Let's see if we can compile this now. Yeah. Oh, .pa. It references something else. So wait, what? Source not found. Digiclock res. Unknown identifier 47. Oh. We don't need a menu. E1. Oh yeah, we don't need to do that. In fact, we don't need to do any of this. And it compiled, so very interesting. Let's see if test.prc works. Okay, so that works. Maybe I should have based my source code off of, you know, a game that already had this stuff loaded. Over here in the Circuit Dude one, we have a main form as well in this resource, but it has like temp button in it. So let's do the same thing here. This works. So it does have the button too. Okay, so that's not wrong. Making a tiny bit of progress here. Oh my gosh, it's almost 9 o'clock too. So if you haven't already, just every so often I'll try to go ahead and just remind people that down here one of these below me, basically, you'll find like my social media links and stuff. Right now, we're working on Circuit Dude, which was originally an Ardu Boy game, putting it onto the Palm Pilot. So if you want to follow along and learn a little bit about Palm Pilot development and stuff, you can follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/crate, or YouTube or Twitch, which is twitch.tv/the crate. And on Twitter, I post a lot of other stuff about game development, and just random projects that I do, so other games and stuff. So twitter.com/crate, and all of those three things are down here. Don't follow me on Mixer though, because Mixer is going away. If you're on Mixer, apparently like a third of my audience was on Mixer. They were just really quiet. So if you're watching on Mixer right now, please follow on one of those two platforms, because I'm sure, as you know already, Mixer is going to go away soon. So just want to throw that out. Oh, there we go. But so we got the frame working, the button working, um, in this test file. Go ahead and just strip out as much as we can. Digiclock is how it's being displayed, but let's just call it A, so we can see it up at the top. And we'll get rid of all these comments too. I mean, they're nice that they have these like sections laid out, but really, you're not going to add more comments. You don't really need a section off your code, do you? Okay. Handle event. Handle event. Get rid of this stuff. We don't need that. And we'll go through and we'll take all the functions and basically just put them into the code until we get like the most streamlined, absolute bare bones basic program we can get. So an example of what we'll do here is form load handle event. We'll just take this code, throw it in here where we reference this procedure. So instead of handled, oh my gosh, spacing is so weird right now. Let me reopen that file so I can tab into stuff. There we go. So result becomes handled. And event same name. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. Just to test real quick, I want to make sure I did that properly. I don't have any errors. I do have an error on 49 here. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Okay, I think I may see a clue already, but let's keep going on with this. 49, we have this line right here. A constant is expected. Form pointer. Oh wait. Yeah, what the heck? Constant expected. Line 49, number 12. Maybe you can't set values within. What the heck? How is this working? Or how is this not working? Let me comment that out. Next. Line 50. Error in expression? Is it not like this form pointer being called form? Form P. Well, geez, this is turning out to be a little bit more annoying than I thought. I thought we would just copy paste some code in. Okay, that works fine. Form ID. Constant expected. Oh, wait. That's because of the way Pascal works. You have to actually specify that you want to begin and end some code. So just throw this in here like that. See if that works. Okay. All right, that's pretty straightforward. So form handle. We don't care about menu stuff. And okay, let's run this one more time. Wow, 47. Oh, result. Let's do true. All right, that works. Let's run the program one more time to make sure it still loads properly and still works. Should be called test. Maybe. Or that's right, not test. And the button is still there. Okay. Let's see if we can take more stuff out. Event is there. Where is it? Menu handle event. We don't really need that. And I don't think we need these two lines of code. So we can comment those out too. And see what happens. It still works. And I guess we don't need them, so we can get rid of the variables too. From version, we don't need that. Result. Hmm. And this is so straightforward. Oh wait, we have the word resource here twice. Why did that work? Why did that work? I mean, it still loads. Hmm. Okay, so we guess we can put this stuff side by side real quick to double check it. I wonder if we remove define palmver 1.3, maybe that might change the way that the program's compiled. Nope. And so if you're just joining me, I'm trying to reproduce an error in a new code, a new project. I'm getting in Circuit Dude. I'm going to reproduce it in this test program that's based off of another completely different project. Let's go through these uses one more time. We don't need window, there, form, menu, rect, event, sys event, sys manager, float manager. Don't need that. HS utils, time manager, date time, date, data manager, manager, feature manager. Now, I don't know what feature manager is, but heck, might as well toss that in there just in case. Compile Circuit Dude one more time and see if that makes a difference. I guess what we need to do is stop putting stuff into Circuit Dude and start removing stuff from the test. And actually, what's interesting is that Circuit Dude, all the other programs that I've used to base Circuit Dude off of have had at the end this close all forms function at the end. Hmm. Hmm. So we have sys handle event, menu handle event. Okay, we have event Why is this indented right here? Did I do that? Seems like it's indented so that it can be jumped into like a block of code, but maybe that's an error. So I get event. Handle the event. Menu handle the event. Form dispatch event. And then I do my own handle event. And then my handle event, like this. You're saying that the big hello demo in HSPC is very much the bare metal C code because it handles everything. In contrast, the DigiClock example bypasses 99% of that somehow. Yeah, I'm not sure how the DigiClock is even working. I mean, from what I see, it does everything Circuit Dude is doing, so I'm not quite sure that. Um, Actually, I wonder what happens if I disable gameplay. What if I get rid of this gameplay function? Because this gameplay function is actually what's drawing Circuit Dude. And so I wonder if maybe drawing Circuit Dude through the first loop or something is trying to draw him on the form when the form doesn't exist. I don't know. Oh, and Circuit Dude it loads. So for some reason, the gameplay is actually what's causing the issue within this loop. That's so odd. That is so weird. I never would have thought this. Let's take a look at that big hello world you were talking about. You're saying this looks like the C version? Hmm. Event loop. What does NicoCat do? NicoCat should do something to basically draw stuff with the event still running. So what do they do down here at their main loop? They have all this event stuff that's going on. Oh, look. Nico action. If it's in the main form and not in the menu, then you're going to do stuff. That's fine. We're not doing menu stuff, so we can kind of ignore that part. If action, then eco action? Eco action, I think, is. I think Nico action is like, what is the cat doing? Or Neko action. So I think what they're doing is whoever made NicoCat, they might be running um, hmm, they might be running this gameplay loop, essentially the gameplay procedure. If action is pretty much like that, so it doesn't try to draw stuff while it's, I don't know, doing some other stuff. Okay. Yeah, because maybe it's trying to draw as it's trying to instantiate these forms, and it's not loading properly because of that. There's some sort of conflict. Look at that. So we do have the smearing. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Oh, actually, so we have this. We have the button. Menu stuff. It doesn't. Okay, let's uncomment out these erasing stuff and see what happens. So I'm actually really happy. I'm really glad that we got that. I think the conflict was that some of the gameplay functions include drawing, and we if we try to just draw whenever we want, then it gets upset. We should only be able to draw under certain circumstances, if that makes sense. But it looks like it's not drawing circuit dudes. Huh, that's weird. We So it looks like it's not drawing everything when it needs to, though. So we might need to see what that's about. We also stopped using draw stats, right? Yeah, we exited out of that. But we should move slightly down. We don't need to erase everything. X, Y. Let's move down 20 pixels. And then say 40. And oh no, that's height. Right, okay. And 20, 30, and then the next one, 20. So the stats should draw there. But we still have the whole issue with the background not being drawn, the static background. And it looks like it's not drawn until it's redrawn. The stats are not drawn until they're redrawn too. So that means the initial drawing of those aren't fired for some reason. And it might be because of this win. Like the where it's located, like the functions are located within the window world. It's like within the window library. Draw static. Draw stat. Okay, so we have. It looks like we don't draw the stats because we don't do draw map static. The first time we load the level, try to draw map static. Redraw is false for the gameplay. Hmm. 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 And what? Actually, you know what? I think redraw is never initialized as anything specific. So I wonder if um, I wonder if there's garbage data in there, and coincidentally, it's not being drawn. Okay, so whatever it was, that's fixed. So we have the values being drawn here, and we have menu and we have a button, which is super cool. Which, you know, if we have a button here, we could easily include more and have buttons for stuff like going to the next level, stuff like that. But let's see. I think what we want to do though is try to do the main menus and stuff for the game. And what that's going to look like is we want to pop up when you open the game that says like, oh, it's made by me. And once you get past that, it'll get to a main menu where you can like select play, level editor, share a level, or download a level, something like that. Erase your progress options, whatever, like a main menu. And then you click play, and then you click the level that you want to play on. So we'll then be able to scroll through all the levels you have unlocked. And then whenever you play that level, it should get to basically what we're seeing now. And we want to take the drawing code and move it over to the level select screen as well. So we have kind of a two different paths that we can move on. Either turn this into the level select screen or turn this into the gameplay screen. But I kind of want to I think I want to do that. I think I want to do turn this into the level select screen instead of gameplay screen, which kind of sounds weird because you're able to move circuit dude around and stuff. But I think it'll make more sense later on. That's something that might need to come first, just so that I don't turn this code into spaghetti code or something. So let's go ahead and I guess add two buttons, let's say like up and down, so you can scroll through the levels. And we'll use those to change instead of the button click. So here we have temp button, and it's called main form. I think we could just call this instead of, well, we want a main form, but we also want a level form, and maybe we load that one at the very beginning of the game instead of main form. And I think there's a way to, it might be in the documentation, basically to make a pop-up, but a pop-up that's the size of the entire screen. EFRM. Hmm. I don't think that's super helpful. Maybe it is an alert that we need to do instead of just a normal form. Because I thought you could change the border of the form. Let's look. Nope. Res T form. Form pop. Hmm. Hmm. That's weird. When I was doing HB++, which is the very first programming language I ever touched, it was for the Palm Pilot, and there was definitely a way to make a pop-up display that was just like an entire screen worth, but there's a border, and it might just be a normal form with a different kind of border to it. Form title. Okay. Form gadget. Form bitmap. Hmm. You'd expect the title to be like part of the form definition, but it's not. It's a different like item within the resource. So I wonder if we kind of keep looking. Maybe we'll find a way to turn off the borders or something. Tab control, which could make the look and feel of a level selector a bit more like the Steam version. Huh, you're right. I don't know if there'll even be any images that we can look up, but let's take a look-see. Oh, look. This is kind of the alert that I was talking about. Like the full screen alert. Oh, it's called, I think it might be officially called like an info form, something like that. Yeah, and I know you can do these kind of like tabbed values. Hmm. I want just like an up and down selector. It'll be a little bit more fancier than the Steam version actually, because you'll be able to see the whole level as you scroll through. Let's see if we can look up info. Main form does include the word info in there. That's funny. Hmm. Maybe border. Thickness. Hmm. Palm OS info. modal boxes. Yeah, I think the Palm OS alert is the same thing as a message box. So there's something different. This says modal. So you can see how you can include different components and controls to these pop-ups, which is going to be different than just an alert. So I think it might be modal, but I think maybe HP++ called it an info box, something generic like that. But we can get rid of this test and look up modal. Okay, look, if you see right here the about form, they set the frame to modal, modal, however you want to pronounce it, for this frame, for this form, which is kind of what I was looking for, but in the format that we're looking for, which is this one right here. So maybe we can find another example. Nope. Maybe the documentation has something. Nope. Oh, what the heck? Yeah, so this right here, this I think this is Code Warrior. They have just a checkbox just to check on or off if it's a modal. I'm trying to think if there's an example though that uses it and what they would call it. So I think actually right here, game speed, how it has all these different buttons. Let's take a look for that in matches. Res mbar. Maybe this is a special, like, this might be a special thing. Speed. Game speed option sets. Game speed option sets. Oops. One. Hmm. Res talt. Res talt. Alert dialogues. At least okay, so this is like I think this is like the like you were saying. It's pretty much just a message box. That window you showed was the actual Palm info dialog. It's launched from the main menu. Yeah, I knew about that, but I'm talking about like the actual like modal. Like it just happens to be inside of a modal that just so happened to be called like an info box or something in something old that I used to use. if I recall correctly. But we do want to set a modal, so it's interesting because this one looks like a modal too, but it has the info box. So I wonder if maybe the info box has a list of items too, but it looks like it actually has just a list of buttons. There's like dot dot dot. So you can have a lot of buttons in here. I guess that makes sense. But then how do you include these other controls? Flexible modal dialog boxes. Form custom alert. Use the fixed structure of alerts. Not always match what you need. However, for example, you may need a checkbox or other control in your dialog box. Modal dialog box with the I button. Right. Okay, so this opens up this with the I. If you need this type of flexible modal dialog box, then you should use a form resource, setting the modal and save behind, and then dot dot dot, like it's truncated, like it's a free trial of the book. So yeah, needs to have save behind enabled. Setting modal. What is it called? HS Pascal. Default help me. Maybe if I change one of these values. Maybe if I just try changing the values around and seeing what happens. Default button. I don't know. It's interesting that there's no examples for this at all. Home resources. Res. Crowbar. Res modal. Window flags type equals record. So this is within a window. Yeah. A solid pop-up style frame. That's what we want. We want to basically create a pop-up when you click play, and it's like, hey, before you actually play a level, what level is it that you want to play? Or it shows you some sort of preview or something. In fact, I can open up NS Basic too. And kind of show what I had for Circuit Dude already. Oh, what the heck? There we go. Yeah, so this is like the level selection. Where's that? Hmm. Yeah. Well, maybe you can't tell right now, but if I set modal form to true, in theory it should be a modal. It just doesn't show you a preview of it. So it is something I've been thinking about since basically the start of this. I just don't know how to implement it. And I guess I could like change it. Maybe even PRC Explorer lets me change stuff, but I really want to get it in the resource so I don't have to fix up anything after I compile it. But you know what? It looks like, I mean, modal is at least talked about here. Window flag type. So maybe I have to set it to a modal after like the resource has nothing to do with the modal. Maybe I load the program and then I set in the initialization, I set the window type to basically be a modal. Bitwise or the flags. Yeah, exactly. But I have to access those somehow. Flag type. Flags type is called. So window flags. Maybe there's something with window flags. Window type. Java Jack, man, I appreciate you stopping by and checking out the stream. You know, I'm actually probably going to end it kind of soon too. I mean, the modal and info boxes, those are super inconsequential. As long as we get this working and buttons work, like I'm cool with that. So I appreciate you chilling, you know, just hanging out with us, and obviously any tips and stuff that you've offered, pretty helpful. So I appreciate it. Get some sleep, man. Okay, so form ID access within this form type in this record. I wonder if we can't find window type, but it's from behind and form ID seem like there's something that's going to be accessed pretty often. So I wonder if we can find references to those, and then we know where to do the window type. Form pointer. Let's see, record. Oh yeah, and a record is basically a struct. So we should actually be able to access this with the form pointer, right? I mean, let's see, pointer. Actually, I think whenever you access this, okay, I'm gonna ramble for a second. I think whenever you access a pointer to something, you don't have to, like in C++, you can type in a period to access member variables or member values, or you can use like an arrow symbol based on if it's a pointer or if it's not pointer. So I think Pascal just knows, kind of like JavaScript, which to use. So I think we can, once we initialize main form, actually it's called level form. We have a pointer to level form that we could, I think, say here window type. Oh, my bad. It's over here. We can just access window type from within it. And window type itself is a record, but frame type is, let's do bold round frame. So level form dot window. Oh, what is it called? Window type. Window type dot frame type, and possibly something like this. Duplicate identifier 34. Oh, that's right. Duplicate identifier again. Oh, button. Just get rid of that. $33. Wait, what? 33 at 5. Open parentheses. Well, I don't like doing this. Res T form. Gotta find one without items. Because for some reason I'm doing it wrong. Expected a, oh geez. Here? That can't be right. Yeah, what the heck? I'll tell you what. Oh wait, maybe like that. Begin expected. Oh my, ooh. Ooh. Oh, 829. Okay, for some reason that's fine now. 829 is where the code is. Level form. Code type. Actually, it might need to be form pointer. Okay. Actually, this is I think what we need to do. Level form is the ID, and so we need a form pointer. So we'll call it form. It'll be a form PTR, and we'll do that. Yeah, so this doesn't work. What do we have to do? This form equals frm get active form. 833 here at 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's frame types, actually. Wait, really? Let me plug in my laptop real quick. $833. Expected an assignment? What? Instead of that? That can't be right. What are some other ones besides frame type that this person has? Window type. Maybe it actually matters if it's capitalization or not. Same error. Next window, let's see. Nobody uses that. Pointer. Hold frame round. What did I do? Huh. I wonder if I could just type in pop-up frame. See what happens after the... It said help button. Okay. It compiled. That was weird. Pop-up frame. I'm gonna do 23. Something random. No frame? Ah, frame modal. For some reason, Circuitry compiles, but I'm like typing in like literally anything here. Maybe it's because it's like wait, there we go. Huh. Modal is used for something. Where? Maybe I can just throw it into the item. Maybe I could do that. Hmm. I really wish there was some source code for this. Hmm. Actually, I think what I can do is look up, what is it, res trfm. Okay, I'm not gonna click on that. Hmm. Okay, I think we're gonna go for another 5 minutes or so for this stream. I think we're gonna go for another 5. Hmm. I mean, even though this looks weird, this format, I think I kind of understand it. This is kind of the basic format. It's a resource being created. The parentheses around it kind of encapsulate all the values for it. The semicolon includes the line. But there's nothing at the beginning, like assigning this, what this becomes to anything, while this menu resource, for instance, does. And the menu resource within it has places where you can put more items. This, but you can also assign them to a name like this, which is great, which is cool, but it seems to be actually kind of strict on how many items you can have, and each item needs to have its own like parentheses around it. Like it needs to be, item's not the right word, like an object, some sort of resource type. And I just don't see where we're able to include more resource information like we can here. Unfortunately, we might have to switch over to this RCP file. So maybe I should do that real quick. Maybe I should level form. I should implement into this RCP file. Do this real quick. Copy over kind of this section, since this is a modal. Form level. Height 0, 0, 161. Actually, let's keep the values the same. Frame modal, save behind, usable. I don't want to do a help ID. And I don't think we really need anything in here. There's no, I guess the title. Yeah. And we gotta regenerate the stuff. And okay, so circuit 2 compiled. And if we have to do this, I didn't want to split resources like this, but all right, so we actually create the pop-up the way we expect it to be created. And surprisingly, it makes it even harder to see the levels and what's going on. You might not be able to see it, but he is moving around in there. So, it's 10 o'clock. So I think we're gonna go ahead and end the stream right here. I think some people just joined in, but you know, I guess this is good progress for the night. Learning about a lot of new stuff. I think this is all the knowledge that we need to be able to create the rest of the menus and the rest of the gameplay for this game. So we could go from start to finish without guessing anymore for the rest of the time that we're working on this. The only thing is the features like beaming levels, backing up levels to like like SD card or something, or hot syncing, those kind of features that are like Palm specific. I don't know yet, and we'll figure out how easy those are. There's examples for most of that stuff already, but as we've already seen, some examples are kind of incomplete or old or maybe not helpful. So right now I think this is like episode 10 of, you know, this adventure that we're on, and I honestly didn't want it to take too long to do this, but from going from you know, a platform I've not worked on in 10 years, maybe more, 15 years, to having a game complete in 3 weeks isn't so bad. So I expect to finish this relatively quickly. Last stream I said like three more streams. I think with this, the knowledge is there to where we can speed run through the rest of the menus and stuff. Probably do most of the menus next stream, and then a lot of the bitmaps and stuff the following stream. So it will be pretty much finished by then. And then the more unknown stuff, like I said, loading stuff from the SD card, loading stuff from, you know, infrared beams, such like that. So you know, if you're interested in keeping up with this project, of course you can follow me down here on social media stuff. So like youtube.com/crate, and then twitch.tv/thecrate, and then on Twitter over here you can follow me at thecrate, or no, yeah, twitter.com/crate. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys chilling and hanging out and watching the stream, but I think I'm gonna leave it there. And as always, I think I'm gonna go ride my bike down the road and pick up a milkshake because I am very thirsty, and milkshakes sound really good right now. So I'll say goodnight to you all, and appreciate you hanging out. Thanks, Galactic Discat. Thank you, Java Jack. You guys are cool. Thank you so much, Tariq, for always showing up, and Raj for chilling too. So I'll see you guys later.